She have her body. She can do whatever she want. Like, Luis does not care, guys. Melanated! Alright, you guys, we are back with the second part of 90 Day Fiancé. I couldn't remember what happened at all to most of these couples, and that's because not much happened. So I already told you about Molly and Luis, what ended up happening with theirs, and I also already told you about Andre and Elizabeth. Nicole and Azan, their story is wrapped up too. Alright, so let's finish with David and Evelyn, because I believe I left off with them. They go cake tasting. So Evelyn doesn't really care about the cake, so she throws a bone to David so he can pick out the cake. And while they're choosing the cake, so they go in to try cakes, and the woman behind the counter, the baker, the chef, she pretends not to know who David and Evelyn are. So David and Evelyn, with their camera crew, have to go, we're David and Evelyn? Like, girl, that's your only appointment for today. Let's stop pretending. David is excited that he gets to actually choose something without Evelyn's pushback, and then they check on the prices and they realize that it's out of their budget. And for whatever reason, they did not anticipate this wedding to cost as much money as it does, which is interesting. If she's been dreaming about her wedding her entire life, you think that she would have put into consideration the cost of certain things. So they decided that they were just going to get a small cake for just the bridal party, and then they were going to get larger sheet cakes for everyone else that weren't as expensive. At first, David was pushing back as though he was really worried about the rest of the guests not getting the fancy cake, like they were going to feel some type of way about it. And she's like, no, they're just gonna know that this is our cake and they get another kind of cake. You think they're gonna be over there like cake envy? David is kind of okay, and he's bummed out that he didn't get to do everything he wanted to do with the cake situation, but you know, he's like, it's cool, it's cool. So they're able to compromise, and it ended up okay. I'm just really tedious of their story. Like, I just need them to get past this wedding and start talking about other things that are more important and maybe working on, you know, their relationship. But I think this all happens within like a week, so we're really seeing them at a very interesting and pivotal time in their relationship, and I kind of wish that they could skip over all this and just go straight to, you know, what their life is like after they've solidified all their plans, because right now it's a little rocky and I feel weird watching it. You know how your like eyeballs inform the brain? So vision is such an interesting thing. And they often say that like sometimes two people could see things differently, like actually see things differently, depending on how the eyeballs transmit the image to the brain. I wonder what Josh sees when he sees Ika, because I think we see two different things. He is insisting that she could be a model. Not just like a model, like a supermodel. Not like a booty model, but like a model. Like, she's getting ready and she is putting on her makeup, and he comes in and tells her how beautiful she is and apologizes for his friend from the night before being rude to her and says that he's so sorry. And I just think you're not sorry because you didn't stick up for her as much as you needed to. It's really crazy to me that Josh's friend would feel like he should be able to say whatever he wants to Ika, and I'm pretty sure if Annie comes to this country, then David's family's gonna feel like they can say whatever they want to her. And it's like you're blaming the women as though they've ensnared and trapped these grown men into this situation and not putting any onus on these dumb men. But anyway, so Ika is getting ready, and Josh is really encouraging her to dress sexy because they're going to the supermarket. He does do something that I think is fantastic. Basically says you look better with your brown eyes, and I'm like, thank God, because those blue contacts are like killing my soul. And she also makes mention that like doing it in the Philippines is kind of a punch up, and I'm just like, ooh, that's weird, like colonialism, like blue eyes, lighter skin, like, you know, I have emotions about it. So they go to the grocery store. She's dressed too sexy for the grocery store, and she even mentions like, she's like, yeah, the grocery store was fun, but next time I go, I'll go in flip-flop. That was a little unnecessary. And I love Ika for that honesty. I love that she is calling out the situation as she sees it and isn't pretending like think everything is okay, you know? And she even called out the fact that Josh is constantly pushing her towards being an actress or a model, and she doesn't want to be because she knows she's not. She knows she's not at all. And he's like, oh, I really want a hot wife. I really want a wife who's a model. Force her into this thing that she absolutely is not. She knows it, I know it, you know it, we all know it, but him. And it seems like he is kind of objectifying her in a bit. Like, he doesn't want her for who she is. He wants her for how sexy she is and how beautiful he perceives her to be. And so they go to a talent agency. Somehow TLC set up this like you know, entrapment talents agency situation, which P.S. those people that were in that room, like, what was her name, Rosa Angel or whoever, all those people were sitting on that couch and the woman behind the camera, those are not professionals in the industry. Those are people trying to make a buck. I'm gonna tell you what that whole scheme is. You come in, you audition with some BS, and then they tell you, oh my God, you have talent. All we need to do is cultivate it, and then we'll charge you X amount of dollars for this class and this class and this class and this class. And before you know it, you've spent $1,000 on classes with people who have never worked in the industry at all, who have no idea, maybe did some high school, community college theater, and they're telling you how you can be an actress. They're gonna tell Ika that they want to sell her ethnicity. You want to sell her ethnicity in Arizona? Like, I don't understand, what market are you trying to sell Ika in? Ika with her tattooed weird eyebrows? Then they have the audacity to not even do any kind of research. Like, this is how dumb they are. Ika's from the Philippines. She speaks Tagalog. So they get there and she's like, oh, you speak Tonga? Dude, Tonga is a completely separate island. You speak Tonga. She doesn't even look Tongan at all. She looks straight up Filipino, but that's how ignorant they are. She's like, no, I speak Tagalog. Oh, okay, you're Vietnamese? Yo, you don't even know that she's Filipino? You don't even know that she's from the Philippines? So I'm sorry, so did you think that Vietnamese people speak Tonga? I'm so confused. So then this is where, and I think this is where Ika's really smart. They call Josh in like he's her keeper and start talking about how beautiful Ika is. Like, what, Ika's standing right there. Oh, she's so beautiful and we want to sell her ethnicity. And Josh is like, yeah, you think there's a chance? You're the professionals, you tell us. And they're like, yeah. And Ika's like, you know, as far as it being long term, I actually plan on getting pregnant within the first to second year of me being here, so I wouldn't be able to do this very long. And they both look at each other like, oh, that's a problem. So then Josh is like, well, do you think that she shouldn't do this at all? Like, she shouldn't even go on the journey? And they're just like, no. And I know Ika's like, oh, thank God I got out of it. And he's genuinely disappointed that he can't tell people that he has a model wife. And he's like, 1 to 2 years, like, what am I gonna do to make it so that I don't have a roommate and we can have a baby within 1 to 2 years? Ika's like, I'm 36 years old. I don't know what he thought. Apparently, and I didn't watch this episode, Josh doesn't even talk to the kids he has. So maybe he isn't in a rush to get with somebody and have kids with them because he couldn't even figure out the first 2 situations. I don't know how many kids he has, but there's a situation, obviously something is up with Josh, and like, we gotta figure that out. I hope Ika is planning on getting a job as soon as possible so she can be fabulous in the United States without Josh, because he's just gonna drag her down with his shenanery. So yeah, that is it that I have to say about this episode, you guys. It was so funny. There were some highlighted moments. There were some cringeworthy moments. Definitely Luis is like, she can do whatever, it's her body. And then, you know, Molly trying to explain to him, yes, but you're still a parent figure in her life and you can't talk about those things or condone those things, especially because it's not your place to talk about or condone those things. Like, let me have this conversation with my 17-year-old daughter. And he's just rolling his eyes, girl. All right, you guys, let me know what you think down below. Please join the conversation. I totally miss you guys. I miss having these talks. If you are a Patreon patron of mine, I did a vlog of what I filmed with the YouTube space. It's called Reese's Pieces. Me and Chris wrote it. Chris directed it. It was a stressful day on Monday, but I have all the vlog footage for you guys. I'll have some commentary as well, and that will be uploaded exclusively to my Patreon account. I'm gonna try to get that up by Monday. Fingers crossed. So those of you who are patrons will be able to see like what your money allowed me to do. I really thank you guys. Those of you who are patrons of mine, you guys are really sweet, and honestly I need to start giving you guys exclusive content, and I'm going to try to start doing that. You know how hard it is for me to post things sometimes, and getting into the busy season at my job. So I think what I will be doing is kind of making more content exclusive to Patreon. Not my 90-day fiance, you know, because I'm not trying to hold those of you who come and watch my YouTube channel hostage or anything. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. If you would like to become a Patreon patron, please click the link down below. It'll take you to my Patreon, and you can pledge anything from $1 a month to whatever you want to give. All right, you guys, remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Okay, bye.